What's up, everybody? This is Daniel Harms. Last night I had a bit of an issue with my internet, and if you guys caught that, you know exactly how frustrated I was that I wasn't able to get a lot of my reaction done. So today we're going to do a little bit of a reaction video for you guys so you get my thoughts on what actually went through my mind as this game was unfolding. We start off in that first half where it really felt like the Chiefs were fighting themselves. They started out trying to establish the run, didn't really work out, and then Andy Reid got behind himself and he went back to a lot of the things that he used to do with the quick game and no play action, no 13 personnel, trying to be too gimmicky and not letting the offense find itself, not being not trying hard enough to actually let it work, not being patient and just getting ahead of himself and trying to do too much. This defense for the Chargers is far too good for you to do that. So that was frustrating in and of itself to try to see what was going on and what they were doing. And I do think that later in the game, the second half, they let the offense come to them a little bit more. They did have some struggles still, but that first half offensive line was not great. The Chargers doing lots of fun imaginative things in the pass rush department with their simulated pressures, bringing two linebackers up to mug that A gap, dropping the defensive tackle. They were doing a lot of different things to get free rushers on Mahomes. It worked quite a bit, and obviously they attacked the tackles. And Andrew Wiley and Orlando Brown, they were able to really take the house, whether it was Joey Bosa or Khalil Mack. It didn't matter. They were able to get after Mahomes in that first half, and then they finally started to do some more chipping in the second half. Clyde had a good chip on Bosa, that first half, the first long play to McCole Hardman, they were able to get a really good block by Isaiah Pacheco on a blitzer. Really good job squaring him up and staying with him to allow Mahomes to get up in that pocket and really get downfield. But really what it comes down to is Mahomes had some issues reading the defense, okay? They were, like I said, the simulated pressures really hurt in this game. So it was nice to see them settle down in the second half, get everything together, get their ducks in a row, and start to find themselves offensively a little bit. They're going to struggle with the Chargers because the Chargers defense is that good. They have a ton of playmakers, obviously bringing in Khalil Mack and J.C. Jackson over the offseason, trying to get better. I think Sebastian Joseph Day is going to be a pretty important piece for their defense going forward as well. It's really what allowed the Rams, the years before where he was there with Brandon Staley, to unlock that rush defense where they can play like one linebacker and actually be almost like a bear front where they could stop everybody with just a two-gapping nose tackle, really a run-stuffing, grinding kind of guy. So they're a tough defense to play against. This was a huge, tough test for them, and I was super impressed with their ability to stay resilient. They got down early. The defense got down on those first two drives. The Chargers went up 10-0. It really kind of took some of the air out of the stadium. We saw that, we heard that, and then they stopped taking it. They just started to put up a fight. And third downs, they were starting to clamp down. I know that the struggles with Mike Williams continue because Spags refuses to actually take him away. I just don't understand that part, but eventually they finally adjusted a little bit in the second half. That first half was tough, but they did finally grind out a lot of third downs and forced Brandon Staley to be more analytical about his third and fourth down situations. Now, in the second half, obviously, they started going for fourth down a lot more because they started to get behind, and that's when you started to see, okay, this game's too close. We got to put some points on the board and try to get this thing out of reach of Mahomes. And they were unable to do that. The defense did a great job, again, getting some of those fourth downs, getting to some of those third downs, and really allowing Staley to kind of overthink at times about the punting situation. But the injuries on the offensive line for the Chargers, moving Chris Jones off of Zion Johnson to Matt Filer, allowed them to be a much more pass rush and pressurized defense. They were able to get to Justin Herbert far more in the second half. They affected his passing, and unfortunately, he did get hurt. It's really hoping that nothing too serious happens for Herbert. The game is much better watching him. I don't really care about the fact that he's a rival or anything like that. He's a great quarterback, and watching him and Mahomes play toe-to-toe and go toe-to-toe is one of the best things to watch in football. So I'm hoping that he isn't too bad off and he's got a quick recovery ahead of him because he's so much fun to watch. They had him dead to rights too on that fourth down where he just lasers it in to DeAndre Carter down the field between the outstretched hand of L'Jarius Sneed. Man, Sneed had a great game. I know that he let up some catches like that, but he was in great position to got beat by an excellent throw, and he got beat by an excellent catch by Mike Williams. Nothing much you can do about it. Can't really complain too much. Willie Gay, the mental side's really coming through for him. He's understanding the defensive side of the football as well as the offensive side. He's seeing concepts running down, Austin Ekeler. He needs to control his speed a little bit, some acceleration, some stop starting ability to really kind of finish some of these plays. He's just kind of a loose cannon at times, and that has made some missed tackles and some bigger plays happen. So I'm excited to see his growth going forward. Again, back to this defense just being able to be resilient and getting in their own space. They didn't allow too many big plays in the second half. They were able to put clamps on the Chargers offense, which is even without without Keenan Allen, has some weapons that they're too static. And it allowed really Kansas City to stay in this game. I think that the Chargers specifically, if they want to get better, need to do more with the Mike Williams. Just throw it up downfield. But their offense was predicated on the short passes and play action and running the ball. And the Chiefs defense kind of met most of their run situations. They were able to be better than they have in the past against the run. Sonny Michel got them a few times, but I mean, they did a good job. So hats off to the defense, keeping them in this game, and really, after they got down 10, putting some of the clamps on the Chargers offense to get some of those third downs and help keep the Chiefs offense in this game. The biggest thing now that I'm looking forward to seeing is going to be how Andy Reid adjusts the offense going forward. There's going to be some different guys being used. I think Sky Moore is going to get some more play with MVS really not doing a whole lot. 7 targets, only 2 catches. I know, like Ryan talked about last night, only a couple of them weren't catchable, but they're actively trying to put him in position to get catches, and he's not coming up with them. So I'm hoping, to see that ends up being different going forward. Use some more Sky Moore. Even Justin Watson, to an extent, I think could be more impactful. And the running game, I think that it's going to be better. Clyde showed a much more impactful presence in this game. Finally had an angle route where he just hit stick Derwin James downfield. He had that 50-yard run where he was obviously not being super explosive, didn't want to let go of the football, let anyone know. In situations like that, I totally understand the mindset. But seeing a hole, understanding that he's got an ability to get in open field, he finally did it. He looked a bit more explosive, a bit faster than he has in the past. I think he's fully healthy, and he's starting to gain some confidence, finally. Like, they're showing some confidence going back to him in the third and the fourth quarter with McKinnon. I think that's really what this is going to come down to, in building his own confidence, and he's going to have a good season because of it. So I'm excited. Hopefully the offensive line can get their stuff together. Maybe you see some more improvement in the run game, some of the gap and the power, the duo, and let Clyde and even Pacheco and McKinnon feast off of some of these before they just go right back into that zone. So honestly, 2-0. Like, they won this game. They took a hit, a really right hook on the chin from the Chargers. They came back, they ground that out all the way through, and they took the lead, and they won regardless of what happens. That onside kick was a little scary, I won't lie, but at the end of the day, you got to find ways to win games. And I think what this really comes down to is that great teams find ways to win games like that. Great players find ways to lead their team through that. Patrick Mahomes has done that. I think you have some really great leadership on the defensive side. They never got down about what was going on. They went out there about their business, and they won a game against a division rival that might be their greatest test this season. So I loved what I saw from the resiliency standpoint, hoping to see some offensive changes, keep that defense going. You have some room to grow here. Jalen Watson is going to be, in my opinion, the starter with Trent McDuffie in nickel. After he comes back, I think he has been not only that good, but has so much more room to grow. Just get him on the field. And Rashad Fenton is, in my opinion, put himself on the bench after McDuffie comes back because of the way he continues to play, and he just doesn't have anything to come back from. So, great job in finding some of these players. There are so many rookies contributing on the defensive side, and that's what you want to see. These draft picks flourishing and being in a position to make plays and help a young defense get better. They have a really much higher ceiling than I anticipated. So yeah, I'm excited. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please make sure to hit that like, hit the bell, and the sub for the channel. Trying to really, really grow this season, and we're hoping we can do it. And we can hope it with your help. We can make this the best season ever at RGR. I'm hoping that we continue to have these great, fun games. They may not be always the most fun to watch, but at the end of the day, these are the games that test the best teams, and they ended up winning. So 2-0, first in the division now, while everyone else is sitting underneath there. The Chiefs are sitting pretty on top. I'll see you guys next time. Have a great day.